G'day, Russell Pearson. I'm here to talk about lead generation, but even more than that, how to get consistent new customers and clients into your business without needing to nurture them for months and or years. Because you may have been told in your time that you need to attract people into your world and then you need to nurture them along the way, which to a degree is not wrong. Right, so there's nothing wrong with the concept, but the way a lot of people are teaching it is that you need to do some form of lead magnet to capture an email address. So you've got a name and an email address, and then what you need to do is consistent email generation and content creation that goes out on social media. Now, there's a couple of problems with that, which I'm sure you've experienced. Number one is that the big issue is it takes time. It takes a lot of time and a hell of a lot of effort. And so there is a better way that doesn't take nearly as much effort. Now, the reason it takes so much effort is because the conversion rates on ideal prospects, I'm talking about people who actually have the problem that you solve, is like less than 1%. And it means if you're waiting for someone to raise their hand and say, yes, I would like some help, you're going to be waiting a while. There's probably 100 people that have gone past before that one raises their hand and says, yeah, I would like some help with that. So there is a better way. Now, the way forward is very much around raising that conversion rate. So it's not 1 in 100 actually that raises their hand and says, yes, I'd like some help. And how to actually not have to do so much content creation and so much email generation to have the amount of clients that you want and the ideal amount of clients that you want. So the biggest problem of all of it is that the idea is know, like, and trust. A lot of people are out there talking about know, like, and trust. No one can work with you until they know who you are, which is absolutely true. No one will work with you unless they like you, so they need to know you to be able to like you, and no one's going to work with you for a lifetime of business until they trust you. Those things are true. But the problem with know, and the know part of know, like, trust, and when I say know, I actually might spell it out because a lot of people have thought I meant N-O, but when I'm actually talking about this stuff, and for those who know what know, like, and trust is, bear with me because I'm actually going to give you a different spin on it in just a second. It's know, as in K, silent K, know, like, and trust, right? Now, the important part here, which is the big issue with content creation, email generation, is this chunk here. Because most people think that it's, all right, how many people know me or how many people know you as a prospect for your business? Now, in some circles, that is how people do it, and they do it really effectively, but they do it in a way that they have probably about 20,000 people who know who they are. So those small percentages that I was talking about before are absolutely fine, right? So they don't ever have to actually speak to anybody. They just put out this content creation to tens of thousands of people, and then eventually 1% of those people will raise their hand and say, yes, I would like some help. Now, most people I speak to do not have tens of thousands of people who actually know, like, and trust them. And it takes a lot of effort to get up to those sort of numbers. That's minor celebrity, and you don't have to play in that space. You actually don't even have to have your positioning and authority set to actually have an amazing multi-six-figure business. Like we're talking about you having up to about $250,000 before even having a photo shoot, right? So this can actually happen, and there are lots of people going out and doing it, but most gurus, most thought leaders in this space will tell you that that's the step you need to go through. You need to build authority. You need to create a list, and then you need to move them through know, like, and trust. Here's the twist on it, right? Is that know is not about who knows you. It's about, do you know them? Do you actually know who that person is on that list? Do you know what their problems are? Do you know what their business is if it's a B2B scenario? Do you know what their lifestyle is if it's a B2C scenario? B2B, business to business, business to consumer is B2C. I don't like acronyms. I don't like alphabetizations. I think when I'm doing this education, I want to make sure you understand what I'm talking about, right? So know is, do you know that prospect? Do you know that potential customer and client? If you don't know them, then it's very difficult for them to truly like and trust you. And so there's a lot of people working on this know thing as just a one-way conversation, but that's not how you build relationships. And so the first key is really like, how do you know this person so that you know when they need help? And that's the key behind not having to nurture with so much effort and emphasis on sending out content. You actually can have a much smaller list and start having conversations with these people. So that's the key. Like, how do you actually find a way within your business? Because you are unique in some ways. There will be something I'm going to put up here as far as process in a moment, but you do have choices. You do have the way you prefer to work. I'm not going to be saying you need to do a Facebook Live every day. For some people, that's great. For other people like me, it's not, right? I'll do one every now and then, but I'm not going to be getting up every day and doing a Facebook Live. So I've found a different way. And for each of you, you get to use your innate strengths. You get to not have to fix all the weaknesses and flaws that you perceive. You can actually be you, and you can design a business around the things that you love to do if you put a little bit more effort into getting to know those people that you want to work with. And so the process is very, very straightforward. And I'll put it up on the board, right? So the first step is, yes, you need to know who they are. Now, a lot of people are out there, and you might be one of them, are saying, well, I get all my business from referrals. And referrals are great. Referrals are absolutely fantastic because you get a high conversion rate on them. So that's easier to sell, and you might think you're an amazing salesperson who just gets referrals, but the standard rate is 80% or above. So if you're not getting that, maybe you've got to do a few cold ones to get a bit of experience about how that feels. But the thing about referrals is you can't say next week, all right, I'm going to turn up the tap on referrals. I'm actually going to turn up the heat, try and get more people into my business in the next month, week, quarter, whatever it might be for your business, the growth schedule. You can't do that with referrals. It's very, very difficult to do that with referrals, especially if you don't already have multifaceted referral systems in place. But what you can do is you can go out to the market and you can actually introduce yourself. So you just need to know where people are. And you say, well, who? Who am I actually after here? Well, your ideal prospects, and that's really very personal. That is who you love working with, they can afford what you've got, and you can really, really help them. If it's not that, then there's probably an issue, right? So who do you want? Where are they? So you go to where they are, and then I like the idea of knowing, like, are they a prospect? Because otherwise, if I'm going to have a conversation with these people, I don't want to waste all this time, and you may have heard me say it before, on coffee conversations by speaking to everybody and wasting hours and hours and time just doing that. There is a much better way, and the first step is actually knowing if they are a prospect. So there's something in your business, and it is different for different businesses, to define, are they a prospect? There'll be certain triggers, certain ticks in the box that say that this person has certain criteria that actually mean that they're probably going to be ideal for my business. The next step from there is pretty straightforward. It's into what I said about before, which is have conversations. Now, if you've known me for any length of time, you know that I do like events. I do like to have events to bring in more people. Instead of just going to where they are, sometimes I bring them to me, but I still need to get an invite out, so I still need to know where they are. But an event, a one-way event, is not a conversation. So if you are going to have an event to bring people in, all that's doing is bringing them in, potentially identifying them as a prospect. You still need to take another step. Now, is this process I'm showing you right for everybody? No, it's not. It's going to be for anybody who's got something that they're selling probably more than $1,000, $1,500. So if that's you, this is going to be ideal for you. If you're selling small things on bulk, it may be a different way of working, but if you're selling, let's say, on wholesale, lots of little things on wholesale, you're still going to get those above $1,500 sales, right? So it's ideal for businesses that want that, because the next step is to have a conversation. Conversation. Now, conversations don't have to be the traditional hour-long coffee conversation that so many people are having. There are ways to have these small conversations and bite-sized conversations and text conversations and chat conversations. There are different ways to have those conversations, and there are different steps for different businesses about how you should put those in place. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, that's one of the things that we do in the Forge business program that I run. So there's a lot of people that are working through this to go, what is this for my business? What are the steps that I need to attract more of the ideal clients into my world so I can grow at the amount that I want to grow without burning out, right? Without having to spend too much time and energy on nurturing everybody, without having to have too many conversations, actually just having conversations that are right for your business. And, how do I actually attract a lot of the people that I want to work with? So it's very much around lifestyle at the same time. Even if you've got a business the idea of the business being the profitable enterprise that runs without you, you still want to decide what sort of lifestyle do I want on the way to building that, because you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't just want to, ruin all sorts of different areas of your life just to accomplish that one task. So there's ways to do it. It's the ways that do it that actually matter. So once you've had a conversation with them, you know whether it's time to help. All right. And I've got another step too, which, again, I teach inside the Forge, so come and talk to me if you're interested in that. But it's how do you create a cycle where if now is not the right time, how do I actually keep a continuous conversation going on with that person? And that's how you do it. That's how you avoid the whole sending out nurture stuff to actually have a 1% and less conversion rate for people who put up their hand and ask for help. And how you can turn this sort of stuff into more like 50% conversion rate, more like 15% are ready to actually buy now. The other 85% will buy over time. How do you actually turn that into a process that's bringing people through so you can identify when is the right time to be making an offer? Because that's the key. That's a massive key. Not always waiting for someone to put their hand up and saying, give me what you've got. Sometimes you actually need to say, well, I might have a few ideas for you, understanding if it's a problem you can solve, and then making an offer. And there's magic in the way you go about making offers. But how do you build that system for your business? So if you can build that system for your business, what you will find is that you'll spend a lot less time doing spot fire style activities that at the end of the day don't build the business in the direction that you want. You're going to spend a lot less energy in content creation that's not hitting the mark, and you're actually going to improve the amount of ideal customers that are going to come to you and the level of conversion rate, even in very, very short periods of time. Because one of those things when it comes to nurture, and I remember it being told when I was just starting business, you can't close anyone, you can't help anyone in one conversation. But the reality is, if they have a problem and you are the best person to solve it, then saying, yeah, I think I can help you, would you like help, is one of the fastest ways to actually get new customers who love what you do, right? So it's all about process. So what is your process? If you're interested to talk about this with me, come and have a chat. You can find me anywhere. We can have a little chat on text to see if there's something I can help you with. If there's not, it's not a problem. I just want to make sure that more people are not wasting their time on coffee conversations, on authority building when they may have written a book, they've got their own website about themselves, they're sharing their expertise, yet no one's knocking on the door. It's probably because they don't have this process in place where they know when to offer a solution to the ideal client. Thanks so much. My name's Russell Pearson. If you are interested in talking about this, give me a hoy. Until next time, stay passionate. I'll catch you on the next one.